All right, I put B there. When I was walking around, most of you that filled the table out looked like it was right. So those that tried probably did it all right. Any questions before we put everything we've talked about together? Okay, so here's the point of the lesson today, okay? It's to use the similarity statements and the scale factor to find the missing parts of different triangles, okay? So use the scale factor to set up a ratio equation, making sure to match up corresponding sides. So that's the point of our lesson today, is to use the scale factor to set up ratio equations where we've matched up our corresponding sides so that we can find missing side lengths of triangles, okay? So let's do a couple together and then we'll try some on your own. So on this first one, if I am looking at X right here, okay, there's my X, okay, I just put it over the question mark. Now, my JKL is my first one, right? So that's my pre-image. And this is my post-image, my TUV. So pre and post. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I need to find a scale factor. Well, to find a scale factor, I need a corresponding pair of sides, right? Where I have both of the numbers. Does that make sense? Okay, so, and remember, scale factor is post divided by pre. So if I have to put the post image number on top, I'm going to put my 12 first, right? Well, 12 is UV. So which side length over here in my pre-image matches up with my 12? KL or LK, right? So that's my 54. That right there represents my scale factor, my K value. Remember that from the first page, right? Now, we're using the scale factor to set up a ratio equation, which basically a ratio equation is just two fractions equal to each other. So what I'm going to do, the 12 is in the post image, right? So I need that to correspond with the side from the post image here. So that's going to be X. And then UT corresponds with the 90. So this right here is my ratio equation. Okay, so let's just stop here. So I set up my scale factor, and then I set it equal to corresponding sides, right? And I set up a ratio equation, which means two fractions equal to each other. Questions on the setup? That's the hardest part, I think. All right, now we're going to solve this. Who remembers the words cross multiply? Right? Okay, so I always draw the Jesus fish. That helps me remember what order to do it in. Right? X times 54 equals 12 times 90. The biggest mistake people make on cross multiply is that after you cross multiply, they still have a fraction. But the whole point of cross multiplying is to help us get rid of the fraction. So once I cross multiply, I do my X times 54 equals my 12 times 90. I should not have a fraction anymore if I cross multiplied correctly. Okay? What's 12 times 90? This is why I said you might want your calculators today. Good. And then what's my last algebra step to get my X alone? Divide, good, by 54. So X is what? 20. But the question doesn't want X, right? It wants the missing length. So UT is 20. And that's my answer. What questions do you have before we do another one? Any questions? Anything? Doing okay? Okay, the few answers that I got said yes. All right, let's do another one. B. First one's my pre-image. So UVW is my pre-image, and UKL is my post-image. Okay, so to set up my scale factor, I need a pair of corresponding sides that I have both of the numbers. So I have 18 from my post-image, right? So that's UK, and so that's going to match up with UV. So I'm going to do 18 over 84. I did post divided by pre to get my scale factor. Good? What should I put on top of my ratio equation? X or 98 for the other side? X in this case. Good. Because 18 and X are in the same triangle, and 84 and 98 are in the same triangle. Then I cross multiply, so X times 84 equals 18 times 98. So 84X equals whatever 98 times 18 is, but one of you guys are gonna do that for me. 1764, good. Then divide by 84, and X should be what? 21, which means my side length, UL, is 21. C is where it starts to get a little trickier. So I just want you to take a second and set up the ratio equation, and then I'll help you with the algebra. What makes these trickier is not the like triangle similarity stuff. That's the same throughout. It's the solving once I get my ratio equation sometimes gets harder, okay? So take a second, and all I want you to do is set up your ratio equation for C, and I'll help you solve it, okay?